Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. I am out with my friend Dave Collins from the Solent Warrior on his boat and we are fishing down near the Isle of Wight. We'll be doing a bit of mixed fishing throughout the day, anchoring up on some banks, some reef, maybe some wrecks, just to try and see what we can find. Ideally some rays, some spurs, some conger, maybe even some codlins. We're just out for a day's fishing. Tell you what, it's nice getting in some shelter. I tell you what, it was bitterly cold coming over here.
It is.
Yeah. We'll get ourselves sorted and we'll talk you through the rigs, the tactics and everything like that as we're doing it. Just wish us luck.
Right. You're good. How we sat on that?
We'll see what she looks like when she sits back, because it looks like we're going to be sat about 60 foot out of it, which is fine. You're better off drawing them out rather than fishing right into it.
Yeah, sure. Right, good.
We've just sat the anchor back. The wreck is, like I say, probably about 60 to 80 feet behind us. The reason why you do that is because if this is the seabed and this is the surface, the tide's running this way. If your boat's up there, your leads and your lines will be dropping back. So you don't want to be sat right above it, otherwise your lines would miss it. We're going to drop our baits back towards the wreck and hopefully draw the fish out. First thing we're going to do, we're going to explain all the rigs and all the baits and everything. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make up a smaller baited rig. So like a 1/0 or a 2/0 hook on with a little scrap of bait to feed it back. That's checking the life of the wreck, checking to see what's living on it, pouting, whiting, anything like that. Because if you haven't got little fish, you won't have big fish. Because if there aren't any little fish, there isn't anything for the big fish to eat. So the Americans call it food chain fishing.
They do.
But it's pretty much any of the fishing that we do is you catch a bait and you use the bait to catch a bigger fish. So yeah, it's just the same. The tide has just turned, so we should have this same, unless the conditions change, we should have these good fishing conditions for good for yours now. I don't know if you can see the colour of the water, but it isn't the clearest. Probably got about 6 inches of visibility. So the name of the game today is going to be scent. Smelly baits. The first couple of scratching baits out, we've just used a bit of frozen squid, but I did bring some bait up with us. I went and caught some fresh Cornish mackerel yesterday. Vacuum packed them and stuck them inside of there. So there is a little bit of frozen cuttle in there too. We are going to change it to the fresh baits. We're just getting the first couple of baits out now. You're getting a little wrapping bite on there now, mate.
Bob's there.
We were just talking there and we're just saying that the small fish have found the baits. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's not such a bad thing, the small fish finding the baits. Generally that's usually the way it happens. I mean, you might knock a big fish on the head, but it's unlikely. And yeah, like you're saying, the small fish coming in, ragging the baits, chews them up and creates a bigger scent trail, and also the sheer action of a fish chewing at something, it attracts other fish. That commotion that they create will bring other fish in. Dave's affectionate nickname is Dogfish, Dogger Dave. It's called Dogger. It's due to his fishing ability and not his nighttime activity. And I was about to say to you, I was like, are we going to have a competition to see who can catch the most? And what's the first fish that's going to come through, do you reckon? It's going to be a dog.
Oh, that's a strap.
Strap it down.
There's congers there.
Well, I reckon we're going to see quite a few of these today. Little strap eels. I don't know if you've noticed, Tony, I mean, when do you see that the colour changes?
Once they get over £10. Yeah, anything on £10 always has that black.
I don't know if you can see what we're talking about here, but the outside of these fins here has got like a black edge to it. And I'd call it a strap until it loses that black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until it gets to about £10. That one there will be about £1.50, £2. Make a decent live bait.
Yeah.
I'm just going through now, knocking a couple of extra rigs up. Conger fishing and fishing into wrecks, you are going to lose the odd bit of gear. So I'll make up 3 or 4 sets of hook lengths first. I'll just keep some hooks in a bag under oil. Make 2 or 3 hook lengths up and have them ready so that I can just bait one and clip one and just knock it straight out. Oh, just. There you go. Slightly bigger. Still, like you said, just about to lose the black.
Yeah, he's still just about got it running down the tips, I mean.
I've got little tiny baits on. Dave's got much bigger baits on, so yeah, bigger baits seem to be winning out. 2-0 there. I'll have to pull my finger out. We're setting the rods up high. The current's running through this way, so it's taking the sense of our baits into the rod. We're watching for positive bites, as in the rod tips to start nodding. The rod tips will be bent into the tide. The bite that Dave had there was a negative bite, so the rod tip actually straightened up. It means that the fish has picked up the bait and the weight and come up the tide with it. What I'm going to be using now is I'm going to be using a little bit of that fresh mackerel that we brought. Just to try and get some extra scent going. That was a nice bite. Slightly better.
That's a bit better, mate.
Yeah, there was a slightly better reel. Got a T-bar there, mate. There we go. All that was, like I say, was a piece of mackerel. There's like another little eel. Let's see, a few more fish are starting to show. Them mackerel baits have been in there for 30-40 seconds, so yeah, it's literally all about the scent. So far, all the rig is that I'm using, just a sliding ledger. Just that's a slider on my line, and let the lead slide up and down. And a short hook length. This one is, I think this is 200-pound mono, and it's about 2 feet long. I want to strip down one. We've swung slightly off the wreck here, so I'm going to bring the anchor up and sit right back, because yeah, the position on the wreck is crucial.
So 1.3 at the moment, goes up to 1.3.
You on?
Slightly darker one, but still around the same size. We're after a conger above about 40 pounds. So far, all the ones we've been catching have been... That might be a better one. It's just going to say... There's a bit of whooping and puffing going on. The beauty of them being like that as well is that we're right on amongst the wreck. We're about 30 feet out of the wreck. So you can't give them any slack. So they're there by just holding on it. Hopefully what happens is the current pushes it and it planes it up to the surface. So it's actually just by him not losing line, the fish is coming up in the water. What's moving or you're alright for the moment, I think.
Yeah, there he is.
Because we're fishing so tight into the wreck, you don't want to give him any chance. So as soon as you get a bite, you need to strike into it. Unfortunately, I struck a little bit too early. He sat there with his mouth open.
Yeah.
Nice sized fish that, mate.
He's a bruiser. Right.
Try to swap hands now. The problem with them being is you can't, there's no half measures, you can't be scared of them because otherwise that's when they get you.
Yeah.
Go on, turn around. Right, well there you go.
Ready? On three. One, two, three.
Yeah, that one was just all head and shoulders. There's hardly any length to it, just all stockiness and all head. Chuck a bucket of water around here now and sort my lines out because I was getting a bite halfway through that. Woo.
Oh, there's a fish on it. Is he in the wreck as well? No, good.
This is the lighter hook line.
Is it?
This is the straight 80. This isn't your textbook Conger gear that I'm using. This is quite a soft 20 to 30 with a size. This is a Marquesa 16, a smaller one. And the hook length that I've got on it actually is the lighter one. Where I was hoping for something else, like a bulls.
Yeah.
Not a conger eel. The way that I knew that there was a fish on this rod was because instead of our lines being all straight out to the back, this one was off that way. So it obviously picked the bait up and moved out the wreck.
Yeah.
When you're bringing these eels up like this, you notice it's thrashing around. You see that lead twanging about. That's the most dangerous thing. So when you're going down to get hold of it, first thing I'll do is I'll get hold of the lead and wrap it up in my hand so the lead's not banging around. Because I've seen it happen, you'll have seen it happen before. Someone will go down to go and get hold of it, it'll move and a lead will come and knock someone straight on the head.
It's the last thing you want when you're leaning over the side as well.
I don't know, it would be more than 10.
Yeah, about 15.
I think I've had 3 fish on that same piece of bait. Yeah, also having a gloved hand, wrapping it round, because that eel, if it's spun and spun and spun and tighten it all up, it'll cut through your skin. So yeah, use a glove.
Get him out! Oh, he's in there, isn't he? Oh, yeah.
Not yet. Still
really fit, can you?
With the line. Check my line after that one because I could feel it in the wreck. That's why having a mono rubbing leader works. I'll show you that. He was, see all them scratches down the back of him. That fish was right down in amongst all the wreckage. I tell you what, he's got a stumpy tail on him, hasn't he? Something's chewed off the end of his tail at some point. Maybe a chop or a larger eel. The reason why I use a mono rubbing leader is for that exact reason. Being that braid has next to no abrasion resistance. Braid under tension, touch the picture wreck, it will just snap. Whereas mono does have quite good abrasion resistance. So having a length of mono at the end of your line means that, the end there that's down towards the swivel and the rig is the most likely area that's going to touch the wreck. So this mono here is a little bit chaffed up, but if that had been braid it would have just snapped. So yeah, I've got £50 braid, and this is an £80 mono rubbing leader, and this is an £80 trace with a 5-0. My heavier setup, my proper conging, like Conger and Linging setup, that's got a £100 rubbing leader and a £100 trace. In fact, it might be 150.
Let me call you back.
That was another one where it didn't register a proper bite. Just noticed that it wasn't doing what it should have been doing.
Give him a stamp.
Yeah, really stumpy. What we might do is we'll fish this out because Dave's had a really nice eel out of here, so there are some good ones. But if all we keep pulling out is these like sub £20 fish, we might go and look at going somewhere else. They're really stumpy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just at that table.
Do you notice the difference between these eels and the eels that you? Cool.
Not really, mate. I mean, other than the fact that these have obviously been caught on clean ground because of the tail.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you really quickly about this. The reason why I do these rigs like this is I put a muppet on them. You've seen this pink muppet, because it adds not only a little bit of attraction but a little bit of abrasion resistance. When that fish came up then, that muppet was right in by its teeth. The line up above the hook is chafed. The line right at the hook where the muppet's been isn't chafed. So the muppet is like a sacrificial piece. Added abrasion resistance. Yeah, the anchor's dropped and like skidded back, so we are right up against the wreck now. So you can feel when you're dropping the leads down that you're hitting into hard. All around there is a bit of sand and mud, so you can feel like a soft thud when you're dropping the lead. When you hit wreckage or you hit rock, it's like a hard bang. Yeah. That one there, I can feel it as I'm bumping around, so we're right in amongst all of it. As soon as you get the first bite, you need to be right on them, otherwise they'll bind you up. Might not be an eel, this. They just ran to the boat, that one. Can get one more fish. The anchor's tripped. Just tell because our baits, our lines are moving up tide. It wasn't, we were moving down tide. We'll get the anchor picked up now and decide what we're going to do. Because we're fishing onto a bank now, we're fishing onto sand, I've moved away from the really heavy gear and I'm going down to smaller hooks. I'm just knocking a couple of them up now. Got one rod out and it's already starting to show a little bit of attention. It's Target here is bass, cod, rays with a potential bycatch of congers as well and dogfish. We're fishing in, there was quite a lot of tide, I mean you can probably hear it all moving. I've put a smaller lead on and trotted it a long way back. Mine's a long way back. The next one I'm going to fish with a heavier lead, so it sits closer to the boat. In a run of tide like this, the fish are going to be hunkered down on the bottom, so you need to be presenting the baits tight on the bottom. So if the baits are up in the water and they're flapping around and your leads are bouncing, you're not going to catch them out. You need to have the bait pinned to the deck. One of the ways of doing that, it's a fine art, and it's getting the right weight of lead for the tide and the bait and how much draw. And the best way to do it is once you're back, all the way back like that, is lift up and drop some line off. And you just keep doing that until it stays at an angle which you're tapping it. I can't show you, but Dave's got a stove in front, he's making some toasties. It's always like guaranteed that if you haven't given a bite, get your sandwiches out.
Yeah. There's yours.
There it is. There's a bite. Right hand rod. Told you. Weight on it.
There you go.
So these fish just use the tide. I'm having to pull it towards the boat against the tide. I'm not using massively heavy mono on here, just because I don't want to put off the rays or the cod or anything by using 150 pound. There's a chance that if this is a nice eel, it's going to chafe through by the time I get to the boat, because you can't overly bully them in tide.
That's not a bad deal.
Got the other line. I'm amazed that didn't chafe through.
I mean, it's up there near the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'd give that a £20 fish.
yeah.
And that mono is all but chopped through. Oh, what is that? Oh, there's one. Hang one up for That move onto this bank seems to have found some fish. Let's see what these are. If these are all eels, I'm going to have to go onto the heavier line.
Yeah. I think I've got £100 of things.
Yeah.
Feel them backing up, can't you?
smaller reel there wasn't even hooked, it's just all wrapped on me, so we'll hang on and see what Dave's wants to find here. This one's fine, but the other one there is absolutely covered in slime. Well done.
Nice.
Yeah, 3 congers like that, one after the other. I'm going to put some heavier traces down. That's right as well.
Really nice.
We're going to stick that in a barrel of water and show you that in a second.
Oh, John.
He's a fat
He's a chunk.
He's a fatty.
Yeah.
That's not a bad sized eel, that. Good head and shoulders on him. Considering here we're fishing clean ground.
Have you got it?
Still don't think it's as big as yours, but it's a big one. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's getting up there near a 40.
No, I've seen the girth of him, mate. He's a, he's a big one. Yeah, it's got a decent head and shoulders on him. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so I'm going to get some photos quick.
Good. Right, there's no trouble with catching congers. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I love them as a sport fish, because they're hard as nails and they don't suffer with barotrauma. Like I've just brought it all the way to the boat and he's been up here for a couple of minutes while we unhooked him and he's just come straight back down. They are really good fish like that. But they do get in the way when you try to target other things. Now what Dave's managed to catch there, that's another very special fish. Alright, did you take his spur off or did you?
No.
There's a spur on here, it's missing.
Oh, is it? Ah, that's been cut.
Well, they scrap on it. Sometimes you bring them up, if they're hard amongst the feed, they do fight with each other and they do scratch each other up. Like you see that scar there?
Yeah.
That'll be them scrapping with each other. There's a nice sized spurdog. Is it female? Yeah, it is a female spurdog.
Hard to find.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll grab it for you. The reason why they're called a spurdog is if you can see that spur there by my little finger.
Get that fin down. There you go.
Well, it should also carry one just on its dorsal there, but it's been snapped off. And not only that, but they're a shark and they've got sharp teeth. So yeah, they can hurt you 3 ways. Keeping it alive in that live bait tank, in that barrel in there. Get a sling out, get away on it. The beauty here, like we say, we're 500, 600 metres from any real feature. Oh, well done. So you can afford to let the fish take the time with the bait and then run a little bit, because they're not going to go into a hole. The biggest biggest bait I could send out, and it's caught a tiny one. Took 6 minutes. There might be some people watching this wondering why we're doing it, wondering why we're fishing for these fish that we're purposely going to be putting back. That's because I don't particularly like eating congers. I've tried them a few different ways. I've tried them 4 different ways, cooked by 3 different chefs, and every single time it wasn't very nice. I would love a real big cod or a big bass. There is a chance of catching them here. Oh, properly got it.
How deep that's there.
Spot too soon. Yeah. Now, one of the only differences between Dave's rigs and mine, apart from Dave's have usually got bigger fish attached to them, he's using a bit of wire on the end. Right, he's got a foot of wire and a circle hook. In the areas around here you do get taupe, you do get spurs, you do get things that are going to bite through. Now it's up to anglers' own choices. I just use heavy mono. I've got away fishing with taupe and spurs before with heavy mono. And also, pros and cons for both. It's up to you. You know, you're seeing there that there's not been too much of a difference between catch rates today.
That might be the way then.
Done now. Imagine it's 90 gone back.
You don't tend to get doormats out there, you're getting in the mud.
That's a nice fish now. We'd literally, I don't know if we had the camera on when we're talking about it. Dave was just saying now the tide is dropping away. I don't know if you can tell, it's a lot less fierce next to the boat. The tide is dropping away to slack water. And he just said, I expect that this is when we're going to get the rays to come up. Lo and behold, immediately after he said it, I had a little tiny pecking bite that just lent into something. We were like, alright, it'll be a dogfish. So wound down and found it. Just a solid weight, and it's a nice male thornback ray. You can see why they're called a thornback, can't you? Well, it's a male because of these claspers underneath. And believe it or not, you talk about when I go targeting rays, I'll use like a 2 or a 3-0. This was on a 12-0 meat hook with a full mackerel side on. So this greedy fella has really gone for it. There you go. greedy fella. Of the rays that we catch, I do think some of these are the best looking ones. They've got a hell of a lot of character in them. No two the same either, just like a fingerprint. See you later. Did you get it, did you? I spoke too soon, sorry, I talked that one off for you.
It's not a small one, mate.
No, it's not. No.
It's not a bad one, mate.
It's not, I tell you, he just ran straight to the boat. He must have been like, I've been up before, I know this game.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to be seen. You'll notice how eels are one of the only fish that can swim backwards and they spin. Watch him stop there, look, see? That's why, if that hook hadn't have been right in the tip of his mouth, that spinning and rasping is what snaps you off. See them tubes right in the end of his nose. That's how they're getting on the scent so quick. It's wrapped up in the end.
Another reel, do you reckon?
Them old twangers like that, where you
Yeah.
just imagine it kind of going
Yeah.
twanging that lead about.
Oh, badly as well.
God, so much easier doing this with two people.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm amazed at how many eels there are on this clean ground. We don't get this many in a wreck.
No. They do become a bit of a problem.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, especially when you're cod fishing. I just had a phone call from a friend, and he's cod fishing now. He can't get through the eels. Ain't a bad fish, mate.
No.
Same one, is it?
Well, it might just all be the same eel every time. Don't quite know. He's been up before, look, he's licked.
Yeah.
Quite really, I would have done that.
You got him.
These are all good quality fish. They're all a decent sized eel. Just clip that lid back on. I nearly lost my lid there. Thank you very much. That was it. That was just a couple of little slithers of mackerel like that. Bait, hoping for a blonde ray. Still picking up 20-pound plus eels. Yeah, talking about that, the time of going out and getting a load of carp and a load of peeler crabs and a load of just to feed them.
Yeah.
Cod fishing's, I wouldn't do it.
No.
This is that scratchy rig.
Come on, open up.
I made up a scratching rig with like 30-pound line and really small hooks.
I've heard you in the background going, oh no.
Feels like an eel. Yeah, to show you that was the size of hooks and that was the size of baits.
Get him, mate.
Not time.
Same fish, mate.
It's the same one every time.
Getting off.
I don't even know how many of them we've caught.
We've had a few.
Yeah, when this tide gets all the way down to slack, and we're going to start moving around as the wind goes against the tide, starting to pull the anchor up and start heading back. because at the moment we've got wind and tide together. The wind's going and the tide's going, so the boat stays laid up. As soon as it's wind against, the boat just yawls around all over the place, and trying to fish a few rods off the back would just be chaos. You'd just be tied in a knot all the time. Looking round, one of my lines is disappearing up the side of the boat. I was like, where's that going? I think it's a bass, that one, isn't it? Oh no, I'm in muppet. Ah! Take the man out of Yorkshire, but you can't take the Yorkshire out of the man. We're going to get probably about another 15 or 20 minutes fishing before this tide drops away. So we'll fish these last few baits out. Yeah, the rigs that I've been using are just super simple. It's just like nothing more complicated than 2.5 to 3 feet of mono on a 1 down rig with a sliding ledger. And you can see there's just been no end of fish. People tend to overcomplicate stuff. I've been out with people loads of times and they've got these rig wallets out and they've got all these beads and booms and bits and ends up coming up all in a get snarled mess. 5-minute warning. Oh, what's it going to be? It's going to be the last fish, I imagine, anyway. No matter what it is. That is by the tiniest basically. Right there, wait there. Like the tiniest little bit of skin. That is incredibly lucky. Oof, gone. Well, I think that classes as our last fish. How many do you reckon we've had all day? Eels wise? I think I've done it, yeah, probably 30 between us.
8.
Dave had a really good one. I would put that over £40. I had one that was in the 30s. Good solid stamp of £20 fish all day. Thornback ray as well, and wonderful spurdog, well into double figures. Yeah.
It's been good.
At this time of year, you really can't complain about getting a day when you get nice enough conditions to fish, let alone spend all day hauling fish out. I'm absolutely over the moon. We will tidy up a little bit and then bring the last 2 rods in. If we catch anything else in the time it takes us to tidy down, I will show you. If we don't, then I won't. I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. What I will do actually is I will tag David's channel into the description of this video, the Solent Warrior. And yeah, in fact, there's some videos, we've collaborated on a few videos before, so there'll be a few to see. All the very best. See you later.
Lovely job.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fish Locker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go!